you need to go like all the way to like Planet Terror levels of goof. To really be like, okay, we're not taking this seriously at all. It's fucking cheese city. Nothing but camp, nothing but cheesiness. Some trailers came out. Well, 2 trailers. We were only expecting 1.
Yeah,
Wondering
right?
for the longest time when they were going to come out because movie comes out. The trailer says November 24, but I've heard like December something. So I don't know if that's like a delay that is so recent that it's not in the trailer yet.
Yeah, but from what I heard, Australia is going to get it in December. America still may get it in November, just because of the whole. Who knows what cinemas are going to be open or not?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and then it turned out there was the trailer that came out, and it was like lovely. They did one of them Twitter, teasers. It's out tomorrow. Yep. And then they ended up releasing 2. One on the Sony Pictures YouTube channel. What was your thought of that first one?
When it first started playing, I went, wow, this looks like a great TV movie.
Yeah.
And I was so set on being like, you know what? I don't hate that. I'm okay with a TV movie. It was when the 4 Non-Blondes started playing that entire trailer lost me, and I was like, all right, this is a joke. This isn't a real thing. This movie isn't actually happening, and this is all made up. Yeah. What a time. But there are just other pieces as well. I mean, the makeup for these zombies that they've done is incredible, and I'm really happy with that. Adding the little details of things like, well, not even a little detail, adding major plot pieces from the games into this trailer, like the truck. I was just like, sick.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that they're doing.
They have paid attention to this one. They understood the assignment. And so, yeah, like it's all good. It just didn't feel like it was going to be... I get Resident Evil is tongue-in-cheek. Like, it's not 100% serious all the time. And there are some funny bits in there that you can just laugh at. But that trailer did not take itself any... There was no seriousness in that at all. That felt...
It's not like... It's sitting on the fence. It's not like taken aside. I was like... optimistic with the stills, because you can see like, oh yeah, they are taking like real meticulous detail in some of the costumes and some of those things where you're just like, Leon's outfit is just RE2 remake Leon, and so is Claire. It's remake Claire costume exactly, and you're like, awesome. And then there's some other stuff where you're like, that's pretty close, or close enough, whatever, that's fine. But the transition from seeing them in stills to seeing them in motion got a lot closer vibes to the Mila Jovovich Resident Evil films when I started seeing it in motion. And I think that if you want to take it tongue-in-cheek, like the B-movie slasher inspiration, that the Japanese sort of cultural appropriation inspiration was from, you need to go like all the way to like Planet Terror levels of goof. To really be like, okay, we're not taking this seriously at all. It's fucking cheese city. Nothing but camp, nothing but cheesiness.
And that would be good. I would be all for that if that was what they were going for. I mean, I was half expecting the fucking like mystery machine to show up in that damn trailer. It was getting so bonkers, but not in a nice way. And then there was the quick still of one of the certain bosses that was there, and that CG just...
It looks weird. It doesn't look...
It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit the rest of the movie. Like, it's missing... It's like... I guess, like, if I knew anything about design, I would say it's missing, like, shadows and stuff on top of it. It just looked like it was a layer on top of everything.
Corridor Digital did a really good video in their series of like VFX artists react to good and bad CG, and they compared the Incredible Hulk CG to the Ang Lee Hulk CG, and it was really interesting how they pointed out different elements that it's like you're saying, where you're like, oh, I don't know, maybe the shadows are not there, I don't know what it is, but there's something about it. There's stuff about the Ang Lee CG Hulk that is actually better than, or more photorealistic than the later one. But then there's also the weird like pigment of the green of his skin that throws you off so much, that goes like, that doesn't look real because that pigment doesn't look like it should be possible in the lighting environment. And that's something that you just subconsciously, like, you don't even realize that's what it is that's drawing you out. But it's like, oh no, that's actually a really, really high detailed, and some of like it in motion is incredibly like well animated and realistic. And then the Hulk from the Incredible Hulk is like way more cartoonish in the way that they did the CGI model, where there's like so many more like veins and tendons all showing. That's like really like, that's not what a muscular creature would look like. You wouldn't be able to see all that detail in motion if you're actually filming it. But the overall like rendering quality and like lighting simulations in the later one is better than the Ang Lee one. And I think that's kind of like this. The liquor looks really highly detailed, but it looks like a video game CG. It doesn't look like, oh holy shit, that looks like what a real liquor would look like, photorealistic.
Yeah. With things like the humanoid zombies and even the dog that they showed in the trailer, I was really impressed by those. Those looked great, but I'm guessing that's because there was like the zombies are going to be more makeup involved, just to kind of give you that realism. And the dog is only like a smaller amount of animation, being that they would have used a real dog.
I don't necessarily mind the CG. I think the Birkin, or I'm assuming that's what Birkin is.
Yeah, I thought
design is weird. Like
is...
Birkin's design is like one of the most creative and like interesting looking in the whole series, and just to not do that one faithfully for some reason, even though they're going like it's confusing because you look at Chris's outfit and you're like, that is 100% his Star's outfit, and then like Jill and Wesker are all like slightly different, and it's like, why didn't you do them as faithfully as you did Chris? And there's shit in the background of some shots with Chris, there's the fucking painting on the wall of the red and the blue, like, dudes fencing, and it's like the clock puzzle. It's like they put that painting on the wall. Like, it's incredibly detailed in some aspects like that. Like you said, the zombies are practical effects. What's her name? The one with wearing the skin. Yeah, it's disappeared out of my head.
Oh, the one in the trailer. I can't remember her name, but the one in the trailer that just does the big shh.
Yeah, she does the shh.
Yeah. But I mean, look, I am obviously looking at a lot of negatives, having a laugh at that first trailer specifically. But there are obviously like really good things, as you've pointed out. Claire, like the outfits for them all, like for Chris, Claire, and Leon, those three, their outfits are just. They look incredible, and I'm really happy with how it looks. And Claire looks great. I'm so happy with that choice.
Yeah, she's a wonderful choice.
I'm skeptical of Leon, but that's just because I look at him and I go, that's not Leon. But I also look at him and go, I watched him on Nickelodeon as a kid. So I don't know where that lies for me. And so that's just kind of like...
It's still hard to tell based on the trailer. Like you said, like the music choice isn't great. But what's the odds of that piece of music actually showing up in the film? It's probably not going to.
Yeah.
The same as from the trailer, the vibe is this is Claire's movie most of all. And then Chris secondary. And then like Leon and Jill seem to be like background characters from what we saw of them. But that could be totally different.
100%. Well, that's it. I mean, I'm really getting the vibe Jill's not going to be a focus like at all.
She's the same with Leon. He seems to just kind of be there, like saying a couple of things like, oh, we got to go and look out. But, you know, if that's
is he the Ada Wong of Claire's story?
If that's the decision, because he'd be the Leon of Leon's story, because Leon is always kind of like clueless, but kind of taking things really seriously. He's like, oh, society's ended, but I'm still a cop, so you need to listen to me. And everybody else is like, oh, you sweet summer child, they're there. I'm a fucking secret agent doing shit. So yeah, Claire does look good, and her characterization seems pretty spot on to, like in Resident Evil 2, a lot of the moments in the remake, they really play up Claire's like heroicism or whatever, and then Leon kind of just like clumsiness of like, oh shit, I guess I gotta do this. Where like in the final fight and the platform lowers, Leon kind of like falls and trips backwards on it, where it's lowering and Claire's like, no, we've got to finish this now. And she like leaps onto it and there's like cool hero shot. And you're like, fuck yeah, Claire. Like she's always kind of been that like really, you know, strong-headed, like knows what she's doing, really like sense for justice. So she seems like really passionate and really driven, just like Claire does. It's weird for her to be like, one, it's weird to see Claire and Chris in a scene together because like you never do. And then Chris is like, oh, I don't know, Claire, you're getting into them conspiracy theories a bit too much. And you're like, wait, why do we need to convince Chris? He's not going to believe her? Oh, no.
The other things, like, okay, well, that's the first trailer.
Yeah.
They then obviously...
And that was quite long. It's nearly
us.
like 3 minutes. And then they released this trailer that's just only around 2 minutes on the Sony Pictures website.
Was it on the Sony side? Because the trailer dropped on YouTube now as well.
Yeah. No, on YouTube, but I think it was the Sony Pictures YouTube channel. Sony Pictures... Oh, it was Sony Pictures Malaysia. But it's entirely in English with no like subtitles or anything. Because I did hear about a Russian trailer having a few extra clips of Leon shooting a rocket launcher and stuff. So the main one that got released to everywhere, like IGN and, you know, every other movie clip trailer site, is that one. And then this one that's 2 minutes long, Malaysian Sony Pictures site. It's slow, it's moody. The music that is trying to set that moody tone sounds like it's going to be more like something that's actually from the score and not just, oh, here's a weird licensed piece of music that you're not even going to see in the movie, so don't take that at face value. And is it in that second trailer is the one where we get to see the classic zombie turnaround?
Yeah, you get to see like
Resident Evil 1.
I think there was...
Is it in both?
Yeah, it was in both. I believe it's in both, yeah. Because I was watching a react thing to it from the guys I watch Kind of Funny, and all of them like lost their shit like, completely because they were like, oh, that's the thing. Because everyone got excited when they were doing cuts and doing exact trying to do a shot for shot of like certain cutscenes from the games, and it's just like if you're doing that, that's cool. I think that's a nice little tip.
And it looks like they've pulled it off because it's hard to do that. Like if they did the opening cutscene where they're outside of the mansion, like looking around, and they get attacked by the dogs, and they find like the gun with the hand attached to it. If you're doing that shot for shot, it can look really shit because they like that is originally shot really goofy and really corny. So you've got this like risk of making your production value look worse by being faithful.
Yeah, I feel that. I guess it'll be hit or miss, but for that one bit, that was definitely a good one. That swung nicely, and I was really happy with it. But there was also some extra bits that they add, like in this 2-minute trailer, they managed to add in a bit more, I guess, context that you would be interested in, I guess. Like them trying to talk to the A-team. Like it's a stint in there where they're trying to get a hold of the pilot.
Chief Irons is talking to Brad Vickers in the helicopter, saying, "Answer your damn radio."
It cut there for like a second, and I had to pause it and like stop it because I was just like, "That man looks familiar." And it was it's Nathan Dales, who, for anyone who's seen Letterkenny, is like his best friend. Is like the main character's best friend.
Yeah, and that's not what I know him from, but I've seen him in something else as well. I think he's a really good pick for Chief Irons. It looks like maybe he's going to be maybe replace Marvin's role for Claire and Leon. Because it seems like he's not. I don't know. Both Irons and Wesker don't seem particularly evil in this trailer so far.
Well, that's the thing, and like the other part that I can't really like take too seriously is Wesker, because the dude is in Umbrella Academy.
Yeah, that's why they hired him. So Umbrella, Resident Evil makes sense.
Well, that was it. It's just like, yeah, he's in another mansion and he says Umbrella. What a great time. But it definitely, the second trailer is the one I would recommend to people to watch. It covers the ground better,
a little bit more hope,
gives you the excitement. Yeah,
we even got like a look at Hunk in the trailer, potentially Hunk in the gas mask, Umbrella Soldier. Okay. It's always hard to tell if it's Hunk or not, or whether it's just some other dude. Canonically, during Resident Evil 2, there's like, you know, like a dozen of them, and they all get killed except for him. The choice, it's interesting, the choice of like, let's cram Resident Evil 1 and 2 together at the same time. Maybe they thought, well, you spend a lot of the game just environmentally, like, exploring the mansion. We need more story beats.
Yeah.
But it also feels like maybe, like, you've spread your production budget across, like, recreating both of these sets and all of these characters and all of these costumes. And it's like, did they not have like faith enough that the first movie would be successful enough for them to get to make the Resident Evil 2 movie?
Because Resident Evil 2 could survive on its own as its own. Well, I guess like 2 and 3 you could kinda, if you really want to push
2 and
it.
3 would make sense to
be their
squeeze
own.
them together because 3 literally begins before 2 and then ends after 2. That could be.
And so that's the thing.
Cool.
It's just like if this is successful, what would they do for 3? Like, how
would you
that
just have to
line
skip
up as
3?
its own film? That's
what I'm thinking. I'm thinking maybe they skip 3 because Jill can't be running around in the police station at the same time as Leon when she is at the mansion, the Spencer estate, at the same time as Leon. But
so then I guess that's the next question. Are they cramming all 3 together?
I think they're just kind of skipping 3. Like, I think it's gonna. They're redoing the timeline, so unless they're gonna redo the timeline in a way that they can make a sequel after 2, like maybe 2 doesn't end with Raccoon getting nuked, and then they just take all of the canonical stuff from 3 and put it after 2. Jill's left in the city somehow when everybody else is gone. But what is slightly more likely, right before we start seeing a little bit of Birkin, there is a book. It looks like Leon and Claire are finding it's like a big hardbound book that says Umbrella Corporation, and they're pushing a reel of film off of the top of it to reveal it's saying Umbrella Corporation. And that reel of film has sticky tape on it written Ashford Twins, which is Code Veronica.
Yeah. Oh.
So
You know,
are
I
they
didn't
going to
notice
skip
that.
3 and just, as the sequel, go, let's do Code Veronica stuff with Claire again? And like Claire is going to be just the main character for the whole film series.
It seems like if that's what they want to do, I'm kind of on board with that. I think this is they've cast themselves a pretty solid like actress to play Claire, and if they want to just see how far they can go with her, by all means, I'd be there for it. Especially Veronica, that stuff would be great to see as a movie or even a TV series.
Maybe they do.
That's
Maybe
also
they
done,
cram
so.
3 and Code Veronica together, and so we can get Claire off on Ashford Island, and then Jill still like escaping Raccoon City at the same time.
Because that was going to be the next bit. If they're trying to cram all this together, are we going to get a Mr. X? Are we going to get Nemesis? Is this just not going to happen?
Yeah,
Because that's so much to fill in. Are they just going to have it be the one villain and just stick with
Maybe Birkin's pretty strong, and
Birkin.
like vanilla original Resident Evil 2 didn't incorporate Mr. X until like scenario B.
Yeah,
And then Mr. X was built up way more in the remake. But then they do seem to be going like all of this, the entire RPD is shot for shot exact blueprint of the remake to RPD, not the same as the Spencer Estate looks like Resident Evil 1 Spencer Estate.
But hey, look, I'll be keen to see it when it comes out. I'm gonna watch it.
We're still just judging so much on face value. But I think if you're judging more on face value, the trailer on Sony Pictures Malaysia is a lot
and that's
more
the
promising.
one to recommend people to watch. Yeah.
And the other one is just like, oh, well, they tried to edit it to make it look really flashy and exciting, but so many trailers nowadays are shit anyway, so there's not much point shitting on it until seeing the actual movie. And then, just hope, like, they've been saying the whole time that it was much more horror-inspired than the action in the other live-action films.
And I'll happily, that it looks good. They're trying to be as faithful as they can.
Yeah, and at this point, honestly, like, I'm keen to see it in the cinema because I just haven't been in the cinema for so long.
Yeah.
I just want that experience. And, like, I got to go see Resident Evil Vendetta in the cinema with my mate because they did, like, a single showing of it at Ahoyt's, and it was so much fucking fun to watch in the cinema. And so I think, if I've got that...
want to see this in cinema.
If I've got that level of expectation set of, like, it just needs to be as good as, like, the CG... It's, like, those movies are just fan service.
Yeah.
Like, you would
Yeah.
never recommend anybody who hasn't seen or played Resident Evil to watch those movies because you'd be like, don't fucking do it. You won't enjoy it. There's no chance.
Yeah. If I was here to shit on the trailers, I would say they're glorified cosplay. That's pretty much it. But no, I'm gonna enjoy this. I'm gonna go to the cinemas to see it. I think it's gonna be a good time. It's just, I'm wearing the fucking shirt that memes it, so it's just like let's not have four non-blondes in a trailer for something that's supposed to be like a horror or an action. Like, it's not Suicide Squad. Let's not do this.
Yeah. At least at this point, I'd think that's only marketing and not actually going to affect the final edit of the film, like how the original Suicide Squad movie ended up being. Oh well, thank you for your thoughts for this quick impromptu Metacast.
No, I thought it was good you were the only person that I was just like, I know I'm going to have this discussion with, so I figured this is the best time to do it.
If we're going to talk about it somewhere, might as well talk about it on stream. And then ask you, the viewer, what do you think? Oh, sorry, we're doing long. Oh, no, we're out of sync.
Yeah.